The General Hospital recap for Thursday, July 24th, shows that Curtis Ashford told Willow Tate about Drew Kane sleeping with her mother. Nina Reeves also had a terrible epiphany, so here's how it all played out on Thursday's GH episode. At the cafe, Kai Taylor was hoping to mend his relationship with Trina Robinson, but she discovered he was on his way to Drew and Willow's wedding. It was just another example of Trina's irreversible fate. At GH, Curtis slowed Portia Robinson's resignation letter delivery. Curtis had one more technique to attempt, and he intended to get Drew out of town if Willow canceled the wedding. Despite the fact that his plan involved betraying a friend, Curtis was determined to go to any length to save Portia. Since Portia had already summoned Trina to tell her the whole horrible story, Curtis pretended they were worried about her breakup when she arrived. Drew raved to Alexis Davis about his plans to relocate to Washington, D.C. with Willow and the children. Alexis begged Drew to hold off on alerting Scout Kane until the move was finalized. Scout was excited to serve as a flower girl after emerging with fancy hair and a cute dress. Scout also wanted to give Willow a gift before the wedding, so Alexis drove her to church. Kai then came over to Drew's house with his forgotten passport from the office. Drew was looking forward to taking Willow on a honeymoon in France because he believed everything had taken its toll on her. While Kai informed Drew of his breakup from Trina, Elizabeth Baldwin had a difficult confrontation with Liesl Albrecht at the chapel. Liz, Liesl, Nina, and Willow all ended up in the bridal preparation room, where Nina spotted Willow's joyful expression. Albrecht eventually brought up Willow's recent smile in response to Sasha Gilmore Corbin and Daisy Gilmore's departure from town. Nina looked shocked when she learnt Willow was Daisy's stalker. Nina became tearful and flustered as she created an excuse to leave the room. Soon after, Nina met Ava Jerome, who provided updates on the baby stalker situation and Nina's belief that Willow was to blame. Nina blamed Drew for Willow's unsettling transformation, and declared that she couldn't take it any longer before storming out. Scout handed Willow a picture frame with a photo of them together. Scout wondered if she should call Willow Mom, but Willow answered she could call her whatever she liked and that she would never replace Sam McCall. Willow was alone when Curtis arrived in the bridal preparation area. Willow assumed this was about Portia's blackmail and asked him to leave, but he delivered a shocking speech. Curtis described what happened last summer when Willow fell in love with Drew, both before and after the 4th of July. Willow was stunned when Curtis revealed that Drew and her mother had been sleeping together. At the Metro Court pool, Sonny Corinthos told Carly Spencer about Lucas Jones involving the police when Marco Rios went missing. As he spoke with Carly and Michael Corinthos, who had brought Wiley Corinthos for his swimming class, Sonny attempted to reassure them that the risk was diminishing. Michael eventually spoke with Wiley alone, revealing that Willow was marrying Uncle Drew today. Wiley became unhappy since he wanted Willow to marry Michael instead, so Michael tried to console him. Marco and Lucas spent some time in bed before heading to the Metro Court pool. Sonny was present, so Lucas questioned him about Marco's kidnapping issue. However, Sonny pretended Lucas didn't comprehend what was going on, and urged him not to contact the cops the next time. Lucas confronted Carly next, and she agreed with Sonny that it was a mistake to involve the PCPD. When Sonny arrived at Marco's hotel suite, he urged Marco to remain out of his way. According to General Hospital spoilers, Sonny and Jen Sidwell will continue to feud in the future, so stay tuned to the ABC soap. Thursday, July 24, 2025. Nina informs Ava of her suspicions about Willow, Curtis requests one more day from Portia, and Scout asks Willow if she can call her mom. Sonny meets Carly at the pool, and she is concerned that they are all in danger because he worsened the situation with Sidwell. He tells her that her brother turned him in to the police. Michael and Wiley arrive and go swimming, while Sonny tells his ex that he only avoided arrest because Marco showed up. When she asks if they are safe, Michael responds by asking the same question. Sonny explains that he and Sidwell have tentatively reached an agreement. He and his son ponder how things could have gone differently with Willow. Sonny feels certain that Drew took advantage and shattered any chance of reunion. Michael believes that what happened was inevitable. They talk about how the kids are coping, and Michael says he doesn't trust Willow with them. Sonny discusses Willow concerns on JHABC. Lucas awakens in bed as Marco strokes his chest. They make out. Marco makes jokes about how being taken captive helped him get out of the friend zone. Lucas was scared for him and would have been angry if he had never returned. Marco admits that he has thought he was exceptional when they first met. He refuses to let anything keep them apart. Lucas is relieved they did not rush things. Marco is confident that they will achieve great success. They return to making out. Lucas and Marco head to the pool. After spotting Sunny, Marco advises that they leave. Lucas accepts but wants to speak with Sunny first. The two men move into a corner. Sunny tells the doctor that he should count his blessings. Marco got lucky. He proposes that he not involve the cops the next time and goes away. Lucas approaches Carly and informs her that her ex has just told him that he has no reason to be upset about what has happened. She believes Sunny is correct. He's not sure why she's still rationalizing Sunny's actions. Carly says she must accept her decisions and accuses him of overreacting to everyone. He claims Sunny took Marco, but she believes he is too blind to know that the situation is not so simple. Michael collects his son from the pool and informs him that Willow is marrying Uncle Drew today. Wiley isn't pleased. Sunny enters Marco's room and tells him he is the reason he is no longer in the circumstance he was in. He doesn't expect a thank you, but he does want him to remain out of the way. Kai meets Trina in the coffee cafe. He understands she feels deceived, yet his love for her remains unchanged. When he admits he's on his way to the wedding, she explains why they can't go back. When Curtis arrives to Portia's office, she is reading over her resignation letter. He inquires whether she stayed there last night due to work. She explains that she stayed because it was probably her last night working there. He assumed she was going to wait until they had exhausted all other choices. She reveals that she has already told Willow about all of the failures. Her only hope of leaving with dignity is to quit. Curtis asks for one more day. They disagree on what they can do. She's confident Drew will be even more determined to have her change Michael's test results once he marries. Curtis said there is still a chance the wedding will not go place. He may have to betray a friend to guarantee this. Trina arrives and asks what they need to discuss with her. Portia is about to explain everything, but Curtis claims they merely wanted to check on her following her breakup. Trina explains that she just ran into him, and it was difficult. She's hurt but still cares about him. Curtis tells his daughter that Kai must learn to compromise for those he cares about. He takes off. Portia and her daughter speak about Kai. She encourages Trina to do what she believes is right, but reminds her that humans are fragile and flawed, and they often fail to meet expectations. When Alexis visits Drew, he thanks her for her support, even though she has reservations about his marriage to Willow. They chat about Scout and how he will never come between them, regardless of where they live. Alexis asks him not to tell Scout until he is certain that they are going. It would be beneficial if she could get used to her stepmother before moving. Drew agrees with that. Alexis is certain he will always prioritize his daughter's pleasure over his own. Scout enters and everybody appreciate her dress. He compliments her on how wonderful she is, and she expresses how much she looks forward to them all living together around her family. After she and Alexis leave, Kai arrives and Drew informs him about his honeymoon plans. Drew, after flashing back to realizing she's been fooling with Daisy, believes Willow needs this trip. When Kai explains that he and Trina broke up, his boss assumes it was because of him. Kai claims that Trina feels he betrayed her. Kai wishes him good luck. Drew hopes that after this he and Willow can just be happy. Albrecht visits the church and admires the decor before making some jabs at Liz about their history. She claims the flowers are magnificent, but they were sacrificed for a marriage doomed to fail. Nina helps Willow prepare in the vestibule. Willow praises her for all of her assistance. She is getting married today, and it is entirely because of her. Albrecht and Liz join them, and Willow expresses gratitude to Liesel for donating her bone marrow. As Liz and the bride inspect the flowers, Liesel remarks that Willow is happy as if she has heard Sasha has left town. Scout and Alexis come, and the little girl presents a gift to Willow. Nina is distraught and makes an excuse before fleeing away. Scout hands Willow a photo of them and asks if she may call her mom. Willow says she can call her whatever she wants and assures her that she will never replace her mother, but would always have her back. Liesel expresses her sympathies to Alexis on the loss of Sam. She is unimpressed when the lawyer tells her how soothing Drew has been about Scout. Ava discovers Nina sobbing in the chapel. Things are so much worse than I thought. Nina acknowledges. She explains that Sasha fled town because something unusual was happening to Daisy. To Ava it all sounds like gaslighting. What if it was Willow? Nina is worried. She has no proof, but it is possible. Ava searches for other possibilities, but Nina is convinced that Willow orchestrated the whole incident to push Daisy and Sasha away. I'm finished. I'm finally finished, Nina declares, storming away. Curtis bursts into the vestibule as Willow gets dressed. She does not wish to talk to him. Before she can show him the door, he reveals that Drew slept with her mother last summer. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Corinthos is at a crossroads as Drew Quartermain's wicked side is soon to be revealed. Drew's lies, such as convincing Wiley Corinthos that Michael Corinthos didn't want him after Daisy Corinthos Gilmore's birth, paying a nurse in Germany to make Willow believe Michael rejected her, and now falsifying drug tests to represent Michael as an addict, are bound to come to light. Will Willow crumble when reality hits, cling to Drew in denial, or muster the courage to expose him and protect Michael? Or will she accept Drew's devious offer to manipulate the tests further, ensuring Michael loses his children so she can regain them? Drew's lies close in on Willow. Willow's heart is bound to Drew, but his manipulations are stacking up, and fans are relieved that the truth will not be hidden for much longer. Drew has been vicious, playing with a child's emotions about his father's love, tricking Michael and Willow into believing they were enemies when they might have worked things out for their children, and now forcing Portia to stage doctored drug tests to make Michael appear unfit in court. General Hospital spoilers. Peter August is alive and has taken Maxie. View story as the wedding approaches. Fans suspect Drew's plots are growing, and Willow's world could implode if they are revealed. Will she confront the harsh reality of Drew's betrayal, or will love blind her to his deception? Fans hope she can see through him before it's too late. Drew has increased the ante by assuring Willow that she will have her children back sooner than she thinks, and he is using his position against Portia to make this happen. However, Portia could be the wild card he doesn't anticipate to turn on him. She could have the resolve to speak clean if it means getting away from under his control while maintaining her integrity. Even if she doesn't, Willow's willingness to participate in Drew's evil plan may be the deciding factor. Is she so desperate? Willow is torn and shaken as Drew offers her a chilling deal. Help him rig Michael's drug tests to ensure he loses custody in exchange for her children's return. General Hospital spoilers. Will Willow confront Drew and spare Michael? The offer is both a gut punch and what she was looking for. Will Willow accept Drew's offer to secure her children, or will her conscience force her to confront his betrayal head-on? Will Willow save Michael or fall with Drew? Willow's decision might have far-reaching and long-term consequences, as Michael will be taken aback and driven to pursue Drew, and possibly the hospital, to discover how his test results were doctored. Could Willow fall beneath the weight of Drew's lies? Will she lie to herself in order to maintain her idea of their life together, or will she find the strength to expose her fiancé and save her ex-husband? The bogus drug test could cost Michael his children, but if Willow joins Drew's scheme, she risks losing her soul. Fans hope she will stand up, and that she and Michael will be able to rebuild their shattered marriage after their divorce. Can Willow face the music, or will she slip deeper into Drew's trap? What are your thoughts? Share your opinions in the comments, and stay tuned for more GH news and surprises. Curtis hadn't wanted to be the one to say it. The words felt heavy in his throat, torn between loyalty and justice, between what should be buried and what deserved to be exposed. But when he saw Willow strolling toward him in the hospital corridor, appearing hopeful, innocent, and completely vulnerable, he realized there was no turning back. The truth was about to come out. He owed it to her. He owed it to Nina as well in a strange way, since for all her lies and damage, Nina did not deserve to have this truth withheld from her kid. Willow's joy vanished swiftly as she noticed Curtis' melancholy demeanor. "Is everything all right?" she inquired, her voice barely above a whisper. Curtis indicated to the little visitors' lounge and waited until they were seated before speaking. He paused, rubbed his palms against his jeans, and looked at the floor before meeting Willow's gaze. "What I'm going to tell you, Willow. It's going to hurt." She furrowed her brow and folded her arms across her chest. "Just tell me. Drew, he's not who you think he is." Curtis said it bluntly, knowing there was no delicate way out. "He slept with your mother." Willow blinked quickly, as if the words didn't register at first. Then she sat upright, her eyes narrowing as the ramifications became clear to her. You mean with Harmony? Her voice crackled. Curtis shook his head slowly. No. Nina. Willow's face went completely white, and Curtis thought she was going to pass out. She opened her mouth but nothing came out. Her body tightened like a thread being pulled too tightly. You're lying, she eventually murmured. You're trying to, this is just a vendetta against Drew because of what happened with Sunny, or the trial or something. Curtis moved closer, his voice genuine. I wish I was lying. But it happened. Drew and Nina's blunder was not an isolated incident. They had a connection. They had been seeing each other surreptitiously for a long, even though they were both aware of who you were. Willow shook her head, her eyes filled with shock and rage. No, Drew wouldn't do that to me. He understands how complicated things are already with my mother. He understands how hard I have tried to forgive Nina. Why would he destroy it? I believe, Curtis said carefully. He didn't think it would ever come out. Perhaps he told himself it wasn't important. Perhaps he assumed it was over before it had ramifications. But secrets have a way of surfacing, and I couldn't watch you continue to trust him without knowing the truth. Willow felt the betrayal like a stone in water. All the peaceful time she and Drew had shared, the way he calmed her during her illness, the support he provided when she questioned her familial ties. It all shattered and twisted into something unrecognizable. She felt foolish. More than anything, she felt degraded. While Willow was drowning in her revelation, Nina was experiencing a different type of nightmare on the other side of town. Crimson's offices were supposed to be a safe haven for her, where she could at least pretend her life hadn't entirely disintegrated. But lately something seemed odd. Daisy, her new helper, had been acting nervously. Nina initially chalked it up to jitters, or perhaps a young lady trying to impress herself in a high-pressure profession. Nina began to notice small signals, such as Daisy's late-night calls, glances over her shoulder, and a panic attack in the break room due to a flower on her desk. When Nina discovered Daisy crying in the supply closet, it was the final straw. Daisy, she asked gently, kneeling beside her. What's going on? You don't need to be scared. Daisy's mascara-streaked face resembled that of a haunted child. She held her phone like a life preserver and remained silent for a time. But eventually she broke. He found me again. Nina's stomach sank. Who? Daisy whispered. My ex. He pursued me for several months before I left Chicago. I've changed my name. I thought he'd never find me in Port Charles. Nina's hands trembled as she reached out to console the girl. Have you been to the police? I tried it once. He's intelligent. He hides his traces. I've never had proof. But he has been texting me. They are watching me. I know. Nina's protective instincts heightened. It wasn't simply about business anymore. She'd been twisted, gaslit, and made to feel insane before, and she wasn't about to put anyone else through it. She seized Daisy's phone and went through her messages. They were chilling. The threats are vague. Daisy was reminded of places she had lately visited. Here's a photo of her walking home last night. We're going to handle this, Nina stated, standing. You aren't alone. I'll contact someone I trust. And she did. Within an hour, Sam McCall was at Crimson, taking Daisy's statement, scrutinizing her phone, and reviewing surveillance footage. This guy's good, Sam acknowledged. But he isn't invisible. And if he's after one of your employees, Nina, he's taken it personally. Willow was in a tailspin back at the Quartermain home. She shut herself in the guest room, ignoring Drew's calls. Her heart pounded in her chest as she repeated talks, attempting to determine what was true and what was a lie. Did he soothe her with the same hands that held Nina? Did he stare into her eyes and think of someone else? When Michael found her curled up on the bed, she appeared broken. What happened? He inquired, hurrying to her side. Willow could not respond right away. Instead, she showed him a picture she found in her anonymous communications of Drew and Nina kissing behind the museum some weeks ago. Michael's face became pallid. This can't be real, he mumbled. This has to be some kind of setup. No, Willow answered coldly. It is real. Curtis told me everything. That implies Drew has been lying to both of us for months. Michael paced the room, his hand running through his hair. This changes everything. Willow sprang up, her eyes filled with fury and sadness. It changes the way I see him. And it affects how I perceive my mother. I gave her a second opportunity. Forgive her. And the entire time, she was sleeping with the man I trusted the most. Michael drew forward, his voice quiet but firm. We will deal with them. Both of them. But not today. Today you must take care of yourself. Willow fell into his arms and for once allowed herself to cry. She sobbed for the broken trust, the illusion of protection, and the vulnerability of the family she had worked so hard to create. Meanwhile, Sam was learning more about Daisy's case. Security footage captured a man lurking in the Crimson parking lot. She couldn't make out the face, but the build looked familiar. Too familiar. She called Spinelli. I believe we are dealing with someone who has done this previously. This is not his first victim. We need to dig deeper. Drew was becoming increasingly agitated. Willow didn't return his calls, and Michael declined to meet with him. When he arrived at the mansion, Olivia instructed him to leave. Whatever game you were playing, Drew, she stated coldly, is done. Don't come back here, Drew said, overcome by guilt. When Sam challenged him, he refused to refute it. He did not make excuses. It started when everything was falling apart, he said. Nina was present. She knew what I was saying. It just happened. Then you should have ended it before Willow was wounded, Sam replied. Now you've destroyed two women who trusted you. By the end of the day, Nina was aware Daisy's stalker had worsened. A message was left inside Daisy's apartment. You can flee, but I will always find you. And Nina, standing in the doorway with Sam and a shaken Daisy, realized something terrifying. Whoever this man was, he wasn't simply interested in Daisy anymore. He desired control. He desired terror. And if he was willing to approach this near, he might have already been watching them all. Willow, left to deal with the betrayal, began to sense a shift. She was not going to fall apart. She was about to rise. She would reclaim her power with Michael, her children, and the strength she had gained through years of surviving loss, illness, and lies. And Nina, for all her flaws, would fight like hell to protect a girl who reminded her of herself. Too trusting, too kind, and now too vulnerable. The storm has just begun in Port Charles. And the consequences of Drew's treachery, as well as the presence of a stalker, would alter their lives in ways they could not have predicted.